So what is the goal that you really want to achieve? You mentioned you have goals.
Less time on my phone, go to bed earlier, and meditate daily.
Yeah, those are all strategies. They are great strategies, but they are all 100% strategies. This is my biggest discovery here, which is there is something deeper that I want to achieve by losing 20 pounds, by losing 50 pounds, by running a marathon. And I think that is the important part. Most of the other things, when we say, I want to be a millionaire by the age of XYZ, or this year I want to do $1 million, whatever, there is something deeper that you really want to accomplish. And that thing that you are mentioning right there is just a strategy. So uncovering what is the real, true, deep goal that you want to accomplish, that is a game changer.
How are you, brother?
Very good. 2026. I thought about today we can talk about goals and goal setting and all these kind of things. How do we think about goals? Is it beneficial to write down goals before the year ends, during the end of the year?
Yeah.
To revisit the goals? How did goal setting evolved in your life in the last, 10 years?
Dude, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
There you go.
You want to start?
Okay. No, I think I already prompted you, so you can start with the prompt.
Start with responding to the prompt.
What did you eat yesterday? Yes.
A lot of pomegranates, dude. I'm crushing pomegranates. I know that's not what you wanted, but I think I ate 3 or 4 yesterday. Just ripped them open, caveman style, just straight to the face.
Unbelievable.
I'm low on acromantia. It's something in the gut that helps break down sugar and other things. And it's like my body knows it's what I need.
And pomegranate is just something that helps with that?
It's like the number one, it's one of the top things that...
How did you identify that you had this lack in your gut?
I'm working with this woman that does, she does hair tests.
You mentioned,
tests, all of it. So because she says blood test is in a moment versus like hair test is 3 months, and she does all these mineral tests. So from the hair, you can see how much minerals are coming out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, man. And then my body, like I had a pomegranate. I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted so many of them. And it is kind of a dessert, somewhat sweet, but even more than any dessert, I like was jacked up.
I get the same with ice cream. It's just,
I need my body.
My body's telling. Hey, let's go back. So
okay, coming to goals. So
yes,
actually, it's a beautiful start. So I woke up. We actually slept well with a newborn. Look at my wife, said Happy New Year's, and we're just laying there, and she goes, "What was last year for you?" And I said, "Probably an 8." I said, "What about you?" She's like, I think she said 9, either 8.5 or 9. And then she goes, "What would you have changed?" Which is interesting because, we're all obsessed with go forward. Like, I'm going to start the new thing and lose 10 pounds and blah, 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 blah. But your father, Charlie Munger, would have said, no, let's look back and let's look at what mistakes or dumb things we did last year and just remove those. So she goes, what would you have not done from last year? And I was like, man, I didn't even think how deep it was until I responded. I was like, be on the phone less, meditate more, and go to bed at 9 every night. It's like, if I did those 3 things, my year would be awesome. Like, it just would be an awesome year. And then she responded to, and it had me thinking about these goals, right? Is we all get so obsessed on the mountain to climb, but we forget like the basic, like you got to tie your boots. Like if you don't tie your boots, you're going to trip on the mountain. That's all over. If you didn't pack the stuff for your bag, you're screwed. And that was a good reminder to go back before you go forward, to flip it, coming back to the deep.
Let's just look at the last 10 years. Did you ever set up goals, wrote them out, check every quarter, every month, at the end of the year? What has been your goal setting process over the last 10 years, let's say?
I can't really remember prior to 5, but at least the last 4 or 5, I just do like a simple 10 for myself 5 or 10 for myself, 5 or 10 for my wife, and then 5 or 10 together. When we were kind of, I don't know exact number of years, but that was kind of our basic one. I didn't do much more than that. And I think when I had a business, it was very easy. It was like, get more revenue, and that's it. Like everything else doesn't matter.
But those were, do you have business goals with your business?
We did. By the last 3 or 4 years, we were very specific, and it's pretty wild because a lot of it was out of our control in terms of like whether or not people went up for bid for cities and universities and public transits. But yeah, we'd have goals and we'd tie the entire company bonus. Half of it was to the goal, half of it was to their own result. So yeah, the last 3 or 4 years, we were very lined in on like where we wanted to be.
Cool. Yeah. For me, with my business, I never had goals. Me personally, I never had. When I started the business, my goal was I'm gonna create this business and sell it for $1 million, right? Because that felt like the biggest number.
Dude, that was my goal too.
Yeah.
I said by 30, I want to have $1 million when I was like 23 starting the business. That was it.
Wow.
I couldn't think past that.
So, but I did not even understand how selling a business worked, valuations, what EBITDA was, like zero. No understanding whatsoever. I just understood for whatever reason that what is very, very important is how much money ends up in my pocket.
Yeah.
Which most businesses don't understand that, and they focus on top line or whatever. Of course, depends on the industry and so on, because there are different games that are being played with different industries. But so that was a goal. That's it. There's no reverse engineering, zero. It was like blah, this is what I want. And that's it. And then I never really worked with goals besides we want to launch more products.
Yeah.
Profitability is going down. Okay, we want to increase the profitability. Okay, how can we do that? Oh, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. And then I started writing my goals 2023, like personal goals. Inside of the personal, there is always a part of business.
Yeah.
I think that this year I wrote it differently. I wrote the 6 pillars of an ultra life, and I put all these 6 pillars, and then I wrote down what I wanted in each of them. But I think that I would have done much better if I would have wrote things down early on.
The guy who's executive director for the nonprofit, he read, I forget what its name, something Hill, and this guy met with like 100 of the most successful humans that ever lived or read about them. And the common theme across all of them was, guess what? They wrote down their goals and they looked at it almost every day. They'd have a sheet or they'd have a way to look at it every day. And to me, it's kind of back to Charlie Munger. It's a way to not be distracted. It's like it just comes you back. It roots you back. Oh, this is what I want to do. And this will be the first year that I'm going to do that. He's done it, the executive director for the nonprofit. He's the man. He's done it for 3 or 4 years after he read the book. I think it's Think and Go Rich by whatever.
Napoleon Hill.
I haven't read it.
Yes. But that's funny that you didn't read that book.
Oh, I want to now because of him.
Okay.
But he was like, the one huge takeaway is that all of these people had their goals clearly, specifically stated. I was like, well, that's easy. And I think about coming back to what did I do wrong last year? If we don't have specific goals, then we get distracted. Then we get excited by something random. We're all kind of dogs to some degree that are like, oh, treat, go grab it. Oh, ice cream, eat the whole thing. Whatever the thing is.
So let me ask you on this. If you say, what will be one goal for this year for you?
It's one other thing I'll mention that I literally have up right now is called Year Compass. And it's pretty neat. It's free. It's a PDF you can download in like 180 countries. And it has you go through last year and then next year. And you look at the first step is you look at every week of the calendar and you think about what gave you energy and what didn't give you energy. What were the exciting events? And I don't think I've finished the goals yet, but let me think of one would be less phone time, like fewer than 4 to 5 hours on my phone daily. I'm not sure what to. I was blown away how much I'm on my phone. I never look at the Apple stats of how much. I was appalled when I saw my average.
Okay, so I have something that I think that you're gonna really like. So what you just mentioned, let's say be less on my phone. Let's just say that you've been, would you guess that is your average?
I would have guessed
No,
3
no, right
4
now,
hours.
you know, what is it?
Now I know it's 8 to 8.5.
Okay, let's just say that it's 8. The question is, what will be your goal? To be 5, let's say?
Yeah, 4 to 5,
Okay,
excluding
let's say 5.
books. Yeah.
Of course. Let's just say 5. Well, I would say that is not a goal. That is a strategy. So, and this is where I think that we fucked it up. The question is, what do you want to achieve by being 3 hours less average on your phone?
Yeah, you're right. It's like the mission. I want to be more present with whoever I'm with or whatever I'm doing.
Be more present. Okay, let's just keep going. What do you want to achieve by being more present in whatever you're doing?
I think accomplishing the goals I actually want, right? Rather than reading whatever other people are sending me or asking me to do from the phone.
Say that again?
Accomplishing specific things I want. Like I don't, it's funny. The reason I came up with, and it sounds like you're showing me how it's a bad goal, but I asked both
I wouldn't say that is a bad goal. I to me, that is a strategy. That's not a
to
goal.
achieve a goal. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Both of them, I said, what would you change in the last year? I said this to my wife and to our chief of staff. She said, both of them said, be on your phone less. I was like, oof, it's good. It's good, good alignment there. And I kind of ignored them. Like I kind of was like, nah, that's wrong. You know, like,
But Holly's in the phone a lot.
her average is 5. I pulled it up. She's like 5 hours. So she's 3 hours less a day.
Is it possible that you are getting your data is a little bit skewed because you are doing something that is, let's say, that you want to do that is only on your phone?
Yes, the only thing
Watching TikTok, for example, that you really
I love TikTok. Just the clips and the monkeys. You seen the monkeys? The dog
Not seen the
videos. The dog. Come on,
The dog videos? Yes, of course.
I dig in a little bit. No, I think it's accurate. Now,
There's no way that you spend 10 hours on your phone.
dude, 8, not 10.
Can you, 8. Can you at least just check your calendar more often?
What do you mean? Like
Spend a little bit more time on your calendar.
No,
The calendar app. Just download on your phone the calendar app at least.
just a reference for everybody watching. This is because I occasionally am late to meetings or forget about them, and Pablo's remind me. It's because I only commit to meetings with Pablo's. My calendar's empty otherwise, so then it's just never used. Yeah, it's pretty wild, but I think it's true. I think it's right.
That is interesting. So you said you want to be less on your phone.
Well, I think there's actually ties,
Why
right?
is that? Because you
To
want to be
be-
more present. Why is that?
I think because spending more time on my goals spending more time on my phone other than, reading books, listening to books, it's not as fulfilling as achieving or focusing on the real goals that I want to do in the year.
Okay.
That's a deep
So-
thing, right?
Well, yes, I think that it is, because that's when your goal, being less time on your phone, becomes a strategy. So what is the goal that you really want to achieve? You said that right now, you mentioned do you have goals?
Well, I said 3, and maybe they're more strategies, but it kind of comes back to Charlie Munger of these are things that I wouldn't have done last year if I could go back, or I would like to do less. Less time on my phone, go to bed earlier, go to bed around 9, and meditate daily.
Okay. Yeah, those are all strategies.
Yeah, I think
They are great strategies, but they are
what's it,
all 100% strategies.
and this is
Sorry,
what I-
99.999% strategies.
this is what
Because amateurs speaks in what do they speak? What is it? What is it?
I've never heard this. Tell me more.
Yeah, I have a
Amateurs, amateurs. Go ahead.
big chin friend that has this phrase. What is the name?
No, I didn't make it up. I don't want to take credit. I think I read it somewhere. No, I know what book I got it from, and I may have played with the phrasing. Amateurs
But okay,
speaking absolutes, professionals and
yeah.
probabilities.
So let's go back. So you have these 3 goals. Sorry, I'm just losing train of thought here. So take it away.
Let me pull it back real quick. I think the key thing is I've done the same thing you have, and I agree with you. It was goals. I'm going to climb Mount Everest. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Very specific goals.
Those are not goals. That's my whole point.
Oh, really?
Those are strategies. Yes, 100%.
Climbing Mount Everest?
That is not a goal. That is a bucket list item or something like that, but that is not a goal.
Do you tell me more on a goal?
For the majority of people, this is my biggest discovery here, which is there is something deeper that I want to achieve by losing 10 pounds, by losing 20 pounds, by losing 50 pounds, by running a marathon, by blah, 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 blah. And I think that is the important part. But let's just say my goal is to climb Mount Everest. Just to give an example. Not many people really finish Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So if I prepare for 1 year and then I just go and then I quote unquote fail, did I really fail? What was I really trying to achieve? And maybe I was like, I almost reached. I was like 10% and I have to go back because health issues.
Yeah. Or I'm going to die because of a storm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So my life is in danger. I need to pull. How would you say? Pull the cord.
Yeah.
What was I really trying to achieve there? And was that the right strategy to achieve? Maybe yes, maybe not. Doesn't matter. But that's, again, climbing a mountain, climbing Kilimanjaro or whatnot. To me, those are bucket list items for many people, yes. But there are some specifics that, let's just say that for me, not for me, but let me see. Okay, let's just say my goal is to go from 25% body fat to 14% body fat. To go from 93 kilos to 82 kilos. And to go from XYZ muscles to whatever number. Is that my real goal? What am I trying to achieve with that?
To kill the fat kid and Pablo from his young age eating ice cream.
There's something that I want
partially, but I'm serious partially.
Yeah, totally. There is something deeper
to feel
that
healthy.
I am looking to achieve.
That's deep, man.
So let's say that I'm like, well, for me, I want to be in the best health that I ever been in my life in 2026. Wow. Okay. So let's just brainstorm some strategies. Well, if I go from 93 kilos to 82, yes. If I go to the gym 4 times a week, good. If I walk 12,500 steps a day average, good. If I take my meetings on a standing desk, if I buy a treadmill in order to move while I am having meetings, if I focus on having meetings while I am walking rather than stationary.
Game changer.
All those are strategies.
Yeah, you're right.
And some of them may work, some of them may not work.
Dude, that's
But
deep, man.
this is something that
Increasing
I
the
discovered
ceiling.
not long ago, and I think that it's very important to make the distinction, because it would be easier for me to pursue the goal of I want to be in the best shape, in the best health that I ever been. If I say in the best shape, which is it's not what I want,
Yeah.
even though that may happen, I want low inflammation. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now I have high inflammation. Okay, what do I need to do? Well, I need to avoid gluten, avoid dairy, avoid processed foods, avoid shitty oils. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanna increase my sleep. I wanna go from sleeping 6 hours, 22 minutes to 7 hours average a night. Okay, that sounds good. I wanna have low cortisol.
But let me ask a couple questions. So would the goal be increased sleep, lower inflammation, and how you achieve it in the exact amount? You're not putting a cap on or exact number.
Say that
Let's
again.
say
Ask the question again.
what you've been talking about, increased sleep. That's the goal. It doesn't have a number on it. It's
That
just
is a
increased sleep.
strategy. That is a strategy. Because I am making it up, right? My belief is that if I go from 6 hours, 22 minutes to 7 hours, my health is gonna be better.
Yeah. But how do
And
you
I think
define that?
7 hours, it might be 6 hours and 45 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that I want to increase the amount of time that I'm sleeping. Now, what is the strategy to achieve that strategy? Well, I want to go to bed at 9. Okay.
Do you put a number on how much you're trying to increase that sleep? Or
Yes,
you
in this case, I'm telling you the exact number. 622 is last year. 7 hours is the goal for this year.
What's kind of interesting that you're blowing my mind in two ways is combining two different things. One is I almost love the idea of not putting a number on it. It's something interesting to play with some of it. It's kind of like your business, right? Your business has blown away all your goals. If you had set goals,
Oh, terrible.
then you're like,
I agree
oh,
with you.
well, we got there and it's May. Guess that's a good year. Like, and and Elon's a great example of this, right? Is he just says like, we want to reduce the cost per payload to get per ton to space. That's it. How we're going to do that, we don't know. And we want a 100x reduction, right? We can't even imagine how much we're going to reduce it. And I think of myself, it's almost more fun to not put the number on it and say like, no, I'm going to play with the strategies, as you said, and I'm combining your strategies with your business, the two of them together.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I know the area I want to achieve a goal. I know the general goal, increase sleep, right? Could be a goal. And here's 5 strategies I'm going to play with.
I think that it depends, right? Because there are things, I totally agree with you when it comes to revenue. I still, to this day, I don't like to have goals of revenue or profitability. But I also understand that my team, they want that.
Yeah.
They want that. And I'm thinking, I would have never achieved what I achieved, especially in the first 4 years,
Yeah.
if I have put a cap, because
Limiting beliefs.
it would be insane if I tell you, hey, I'm gonna do this in first, second, third, fourth. It would be like, it's impossible. Like nobody does that. What are you talking about? Like, no, trust me, I'm gonna achieve it. Or if I have done half of that. So, but what I did was, my goal was, I want to launch 20 products, 50 products. So, which is goal is, this is what do I call that a goal? Back then, I think that I was like, this is my focus. I just want to get
improve
this
the
done.
business, and a strategy was to launch more products. That's really part of your.
I think that if I go deep, and very difficult to understand right now what it would be, but if I would have the self-awareness back then, I would be like, my goal is to not be poor.
Yeah, dude, spot on. That's it.
That's my goal. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I need to do
To not be
to
poor.
get it done. Yes,
That's it. It's you're spot on, and I still think about that today. Since selling my business, there have been very few times I felt really poor. But man, when I feel that for a moment, it's like this fire, and it's not a healthy fire, like sort of burning again. It's like, must not be poor again, not again.
Yes. So I think that it's fascinating to really take a look at your goals and understand that most likely most of those goals are just strategies
Yeah.
of something bigger, much more profound that you want to achieve. Now, it's maybe something that you are running away from or something that you are running towards. So that is also important to get the understanding is what is the energy behind. So for example, if you say, I want to be less on my phone. And then it's, well, okay, why is that? Well, because I want to spend more time on my mission.
Yeah.
Okay, that's positive. Okay, let's just double click on that. What's your mission? Well, I don't know. Okay,
Oh,
okay, interesting. Or so that's okay. We can keep talking about that. But what if you say, well, I want to spend less time or on my phone. Okay, why? Because I don't want my life to be wasted. Okay, interesting. Why is that? Well, because, and then you can go in all the negatives
yeah.
about it. So, well, is there any way that you can flip it
Yeah.
into something that you want to run towards rather than running away from?
Yeah.
I think that the energy of running away from is very powerful, very powerful. It's like, I don't want to be poor, and I'm just going to run as much as possible, and I'm just going to defeat anything that is in front of me in order to run away from me being poor again. But there is a moment that after certain success, you need to make the flip.
Yeah.
You need to switch that up. You need to turn it into what do I want to run towards?
And that was so helpful I think you nailed it. The phrase that we loved from our friend Anastasia was that mercenary to missionary. Because it works as a mercenary, right? Like, I don't want to be poor anymore. I was poor as a kid. I have these bad memories. But once you've achieved, and oftentimes I think it's even a taste of that, right? Like you've conquered that initial mercenary task. It just doesn't work anymore, right? And that's, I think, the most surprising thing I had after achieving some financial goals was like, man, I'm just not fired up just to do that again. And I think until someone has made, if money's the thing they're chasing, that mercenary thing, they're like, yeah, you just keep compounding. And the wild thing is I mean, especially many of our real estate buddies, like they just love going after the property and the art of that one property. And I think they get rich slowly, and slowly it really goes, versus those of us who had more of a big event. I think it's more of that existential crisis, like, well, that doesn't work anymore. And that you're spot on. That's where the mission has to start to slide in.
Yeah, and talking about real estate also depends on do they have the freedom to step out of that, or they are in a scheme that there is no way for them to get out. It's just the hamster wheel becomes so big that do they because that is a much more difficult thing to do as an exit. If you are devoting most of your time into that, it would be great to bring one of our friends to talk about this topic. Because how do they process this information? I don't know if he would be able to talk about this, but how do they process this concept of raising the next fund to buy another apartment complex or whatever they buy, and then to improve it, and then to cash flow it, and then to sell it, and it's over and over and over and over again.
I just had a click. I've never thought about this before. For someone like what you've built and what I had built, the value is not in me. It's external to me. It's this entity that's an LLC, C Corp, whatever, that can be sold. With the real estate professionals, the value is them, right? They can't sell that. It's very hard to sell that for real value until you reach some kind of crazy size. It's them just doing another deal that creates the value. So they can't, it's not separate from them. It is them.
That is interesting. Well, they can, right? So we have a good friend also that he's selling his whole portfolio. But he has a setup where he's not really involved in the day-to-day. I believe that he's not the face of the company.
Correct. But what I'm saying is those are individual assets. Think of them as like just good deals. So like for me, I would think I had a really good deal. We sold the city of Orlando. It was a couple $1 million deal. Like that was great. We made, a lot of profit on it. And we were the only one that actually bid on it. That's a deal. But the whole entity, right? For a real estate professional, like, oh man, that deal in Orlando was great. They're going through the deals versus the actual fund, the entity is harder. I never thought about that. Wait, I want to pull back to the goals on. There were two things you were saying that were hitting a powerful side. So I think that keeps pulling them in. I want to hear a little bit more how you think of goals this year. Is this all an epiphany this year of strategies versus goals?
I had this, I think that last year or the previous year, that's where I realized, wait a second. What do I really want to achieve here? Or for example,
Wow.
I can't remember right now exactly what it was, but let's just say that it was about a specific pillar of wealth, right? Let's just say that it's about time freedom. And I had, okay, I want to be, well, now this is basically what I have now, but I want to be a time billionaire.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be.
Wow.
I'm not. Right now, I'm a prisoner of my own creation. I have no free time. This is not the case anymore, but that this was the case a couple of years ago. Like I
I'm
want
so
to be
busy. I'm so
I want
busy.
I want to be a time billionaire. Okay, here are my ideas, right? Boom, 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 boom. These are my goals. And then I realized, well, I did not achieve half of the goals, but I achieved the other ones, and I ended up with the final outcome. So,
Yeah. Okay.
oh, these are not the goals. Oh, these are strategies, and I am doing this all the time. Also with my business, where we think about the, let's say, leadership team has set up goals. Let's just say that the goal is to open the European market, just to say something. And then each of them, they bring the part that they need to accomplish to their teams. Now, that's the goal that they have. Sorry, let me start again. With leadership team, we say like, okay, what's the goal for this year? Okay, the goal for this year is to do $70 million in revenue. Okay, that's the goal. That's the goal. Great. How are we going to do this? What are the strategies to do this? This is not set on a stone because we don't know if this is going to accomplish it, but what are we going to do? Well, we're going to open Europe. We're going to start selling in Europe. Okay, fantastic. Now, the sales team goes back to the sales manager goes, not manager, sorry, the sales
Leader.
anyway, the sales leader goes, grabs it, goes to their team and says, hey guys, this is the goal. We are opening Europe. So the strategy in the leadership team becomes the goal in the sales team. This is the goal. Now, each of you guys, you go and develop the strategy in order to accomplish that.
Yeah.
So we want each person to develop the strategy, to have ownership when it comes to the execution and ownership when it comes to the results. That's the only path that we have found to freedom.
Wow.
Unless the person that you, let's just bring it home to people. The person that you have in your house doing the housekeeping, the cleaning. Well, what is the goal that you are giving to them? And this is going to change, right, from people to people. But let's just say that the wrong way of doing it is, okay, your goal is to wash clothes every Monday at 9 a.m. This is what you're going to use. Let me tell you exactly how you're going to do your job.
Yeah.
This is the how. That's not the goal. These are just your strategies, your ideas, and you are telling the person to execute. And then you get pissed when the person doesn't execute properly because yeah, of course, because
Or they do.
you're not asking them to think about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, they do execute what you told them, but it wasn't the real goal. Is your deep point, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they may have executed what I said. Hey, on Mondays, wash my clothes and put them away, and they do that exactly. Well, the problem is I actually have a ton of stuff that shows up Monday that's dirty, and they just did exactly what I said. So
Why they didn't
accomplished it.
see it? It's obvious that the
Yeah.
basket is full on Tuesday. Why they didn't
Yeah.
wash it on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Because you fucking told them on Monday. Yeah, but why didn't have the foresight to figure
Yeah.
out this? Because you're not allowing them.
Yeah, man, it's
Now,
deep.
now a different story. You said this, right? With the nannies. Your goal is that I spend the most amount of time with my kids.
That's it.
That's your goal as the nanny. Meaning you're not telling them, go cook, go pick up the shit on the floor, go take the package from Amazon. You're not telling any of that stuff because those are all strategies.
Well, remember, there's 2 goals for the nanny. Do you remember the first one?
Don't die.
That's it. Don't let the kids die.
Don't let the kids die. And then the other one is
Maximize my time with the kids. Help me maximize. You're here so I can be with the kids. That's the intention.
So what you're saying is these are your 2 goals. Don't let the kids die and allow me make it possible for me to spend the most amount of time with my kids. That's it. Okay, but how do I do that? Great question. That's a question for you.
Yeah.
You come up with the strategy, you execute the strategy, you own the results.
Dude, it's a beautiful, and I keep being obsessed with the 2 lines, who, not how. Right? So who is the person and we don't do that, right? We're like, well, if we just do this, then, and you're right, it's just a strategy versus like, okay, who is the best person I can find in the world to do this in my life? Start this business with me, with kids, whatever it is. You start with that and you don't waste your time on the strategies. And I still struggle with this. Like I still catch myself being like, no, I'm getting into hows. Right. And here's how I remember it. Hows are headaches. Because if you start with the hows, you just get headaches because you're like, I said clean the clothes on Mondays. Like I need them clean, and it's Tuesday and they're not. The hows just create huge headaches versus the alignment of the who. Hey, you own this. You are the person to do this. How? Here's an idea. There's an idea. You have an idea. Go.
Yeah, this is why it's important with the people that you work with is you have to delegate the goals, not the how to achieve the goals. Like a great example. Goal is don't let the kid die, maximize the amount of time that I spend with my kids. That's it. That's your goal. And another way also, this is very interesting. I am thinking more now, let's come back to the personal goals. Usually the personal goals, they don't change with time. So when are you going to go and tell the opposite to your nanny? Hey, listen, I don't really want to spend any time with my fucking kids, okay? So just let me go do the laundry. When are you going to do that? Like never, unless you're brain dead. So similarly to the 6 pillars of an ultra life, when am I going to say, you know what? I want to be time poor again. I don't want to be a time billionaire. Like, no, I'm pretty sure I really want to be a time billionaire always, forever. Now, how do I achieve that? That's going to change. The strategies to achieve that's going to change over the years. This year, I want to be in the best health that I ever been in my life. When am I going to say the opposite?
Yeah.
When am I going to wing it? When am I going to be like, you know what? Fuck this year. This year is fine. Let's just go fat this year. It's good.
Fat's back. You've heard it here first.
So, you know what? Let's just take a break for a couple of years. Let's just be shitty health. Good.
I like instead of fat, your fluffy word. Let's be fluffy for a couple of years. Some more padding.
So take this example, right? What's your goal for this year? This year I want to run a marathon. Okay. But what do you really want to achieve there?
Yeah.
And then maybe when you dig deeper, the person is able to say like, well, I haven't really been active lately.
Yeah.
And I really want to do an activity. Great. Great. Now, that can be running every morning, running every other day. Your knees might be then maybe you need to go for just a walk every day. Maybe you want to walk 20,000 steps every day. Those are strategies. You have no clue which one is going to be, but you have to be flexible with the strategies.
Yeah. You're fixed on the goal, flexible on the strategies.
Yes.
Dude.
And I think that when it comes to personal goals that we set up on a yearly basis and so on, I don't really think that the goals change. I think that what changes is the strategy in order to achieve those goals.
I mean, dude, that's huge. You're tying it back to Amazon, right? It should be delivered faster and delivered cheaper. It's going to be the same, right? And he flipped it.
And variety of, yes, totally. So this is just for those that don't know, this is what Jeff Bezos says. He's like, okay, what from a first principles point of view, what are the fundamental truths about the universe when it comes to people buying the stuff? Well, they want things faster forever. They will want things cheaper forever.
Yeah.
And they want to have a variety of items, a lot of different options to buy from. When that's going to change? Never.
Yeah.
Great. That's it. This is the focus. How do we achieve that? That's what we need to figure out. That's where we are flexible. That's what we need to, because if you are not flexible, so let's just take the example of the marathon again, right? Never run in my life. My goal is to run a marathon. And then I start feeling 3 months in, I am training with the app, with a trainer, with whatever. I start feeling knee pain. I start feeling the sole of my feet starts hurting. I have plantar fasciitis now. No, we need to keep pushing it. We need to keep pushing it. And then I cannot barely walk for 6 months because I damaged myself just because of a goal, quote unquote, that in fact was a strategy. What I wanted is to be, again, I don't know in this example, because that's going to depend on the person that is setting up this example, but let's just say that the goal was, I wanted to be in great shape. I wanted to feel alive again. And I thought that maybe by running a marathon, I was going to feel alive. Maybe not. And maybe you need to pivot in the middle. And that's totally fine.
Yeah. Did you, are you making fun of me with the marathon story? Have I told you that?
I have no idea. No, zero. I was making fun of you.
I ran the London Marathon without training, and I couldn't walk for like my right glute didn't fire like halfway through the race. Now it was a kind of a joke thing. I was there to support my buddy, and I copied his bib the night before. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to finish. I was like, oh, I'll copy your bib. I'll jump in and I'll help you finish. You know, and like a kilometer before. Well, a couple kilometers in, and I had a couple copies. We just jumped in and we started running. And then the other guys run every week.
When you say you have a copy, what do you mean have a copy?
You know the bib with the numbers?
Oh, yes. You just dump it on and start running.
I took it to a hotel. I said, can you copy this 3 times? They copied it 3 times. I cut out the edges.
Shut up.
This is true, yeah. And I hadn't run a mile in like 5 years, 6 years. And the other 2 guys that were our friends, they're just there supporting on the sideline for our one friend who was fundraising and doing the London Marathon. I was like, guys, let's just jump in. So like we clip them all on, jump in. We go all the way. They're all in good shape. They're like, I'm dragging. My right glute stops firing. I'm like, must accomplish marathon. It's like, it's not firing. And then I was like 5 kilometers left. I was like, guys, you go. I don't want to slow you down. And I'm going. And then this guy comes trotting next to me. He's like, hey, he's like backwards looking at me. He's like, hey. It's like, that's not your bib, is it? I was like, what? It's like, that's not your bib. I was like, and I was starting this like, don't lie game, task. So I'm like, this hurts. Like part of me's like, yes, I'm done. So I was a couple kilometers off. I could almost see the finish line. He's like, this isn't yours. Opens the gates, like, get out of here. Because
this guy? Was that
security? Like, it was security right before the finish line, trying to get.
I see.
It's like me. And this is like 8 years ago. And he sends me off. But the problem was I needed to see all my friends in my group, but they were in a separate, they went through the entrance and the whole park was blocked off. I couldn't get into the park because there's only one little entrance and all these people. So I had to like crawl around to find them and just destroyed my body. And then I remember flying back to the United States the next day. I had to use the cart to push to like hobble over. But I mean, it's kind of exactly one of your things. Now, granted, I had only decided that was a goal that day. I had only even thought about it the day before. And I truly think 5, 6 years later, I still had a glute firing issue that I didn't recognize, all tied back to that day. And I think it's deep.
Just for some people that might be listening to this and they are like complaining or bitching around or already posted a comment, please leave the comment there. But I just want to clarify one thing. I think that is awesome to say, I want to run a fucking marathon because I want to run a fucking marathon, or fuck you. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yes. I think that it's very cool to have adventures that you want to do. Yes, that are physically difficult to accomplish. I think that is very, very cool and very, very important. All I'm saying is most of the other things, when we say, I want to be a millionaire by the age of XYZ, or this year I want to do $1 million or $100,000 or whatever, there was something deeper that you really want to accomplish. And that thing that you are mentioning right there is just a strategy. It's just a strategy to achieve. So uncovering what is the real, true, deep goal that you want to accomplish, that is a game changer.
It's funny, you're saying strategy and you're right. I'm thinking it's also a symptom, but you're not solving the root goal.
Yeah.
And what you're doing with all this is say, no, those are just strategies or symptoms to solve.
I wouldn't call
the
it
root.
symptoms because they're not problems. To me, this is an idea that you have, a strategy that you have in order to accomplish something deeper that it's inside of you, and it will continue to be there. But the faster you are able to uncover it, the easier it's going to be for you to live in that space.
Totally right. What I'm saying is whether you're going up to a new great thing you want to do or down to resolve a problem you have, it's the same truth, eternal truth, that we as humans naturally focus on strategies up or symptoms down instead of the root, right? The root problem or the real goal, which is, it's hard for us. It's not an easy thing to realize, like, no, go a layer deeper, take a layer deeper, take a layer, whether it's a problem or a goal, you're moving the layers and going to the actual true root of it, which is oftentimes something that happened in our childhood, something we're insecure about, right? There's something deeper to focus on, positive or negative. I have an interesting goal. So,
Before that, just say that I want to piggyback on what you just said. I think that is very important when we are, especially in business or in anything, but this is very clear in business. We tend to have meetings, and then we have meetings about meetings and meetings and meetings, and we don't even know what the fuck we are talking about. Or we are thinking, well, we have this problem, and what's the real issue to that? That's because usually when we say we have a problem, that usually it's already the symptom. That's not the real issue.
Yep.
The real issue, we need to go deeper to find out, to figure out what's the real issue. And unless we uncover the real issue, nothing is going to get solved. And now we're going to have a different symptom eventually. And it's such a waste of time. So spending the time to dig deeper to understand what is the real problem rather than attacking the symptom is massive.
And that's whether that's the problem or the goal. It's both. It's opposite directions, but it's the same process. That's the cool thing, right? To simplify it down to whether it's something I want to accomplish that's good or remove something bad. It's the same process, right? Remove those layers, and you can get to the actual that outcome you're looking for, or the true outcome, not something else.
Yeah, one more thing that we've been working a lot on this is, let's just say, I'm just trying to put an example here, but okay, let's just go back to revenue in a company, right? Okay, our goal is to do $50 million in revenue this year, increase revenue by 25%. Okay, then a good question to also attack it from a different place is, what is the limiting factor to make this happen? And this is a very simple question, very difficult to really understand what is the answer. What is the limiting factor? What is the thing that is limiting us to accomplish this? And doing a proper brainstorm with your team, it's critical, because many times we just put a lot of things that have nothing to do. They are not limiting factors. There are symptoms. It's the real limiting factor. What is the real limiting factor for us to achieve this goal, this thing that we want? Yeah, you were going to say something about your goal.
It's so funny. There's 3 or 4 things that are coming to mind. So first was with the nonprofit, we're talking about our goals. And it's so funny because the first instinct he had was just, well, let's go. We want to do, 3 to 5 times better than we did last year. And it was kind of our first year, so the numbers are very low. 2,000 kids helped, $1 million in revenue they created. And I'm like, no. We want to those are limiting beliefs. And this is your bigger point, right? And it's so amazing to think we don't only have limiting beliefs that are like, I can never lose weight or I can never be rich. We also have limiting beliefs of, how much weight can I lose? How much wealth can I generate? Or how many people can I help in this nonprofit? Like, we create a ceiling subconsciously by fixating on the number as the goal, even though it's a strategy. Like, it's a wild one. And I just hearing you talk, one strategy came to mind. So we have a second house in Florida, and I realized, I was like, I don't want to spend any time on this. And I need the goal. I was completely off this year of like,
sorry, explain. You don't want to spend any time on this? What?
We own the house. It's got a pool. We do rent it for a couple months of the year when we're not here during kind of the big season of winter season. And, and also when my friends, if you come down, I don't want to answer any of your questions or do anything. So I have someone that's helping manage the house. We've got cleaners, we've got some handyman, all of this, but I've still kind of been too much of the manager. I want none of it. And the real goal is to minimize my involvement on the house. That's it. Because that'll never change.
Well, what is your real goal behind that?
To spend almost no time on the house, so I can spend my time on my mission. I'm talking more with her, with my manager of the house. So like, you're right. The real goal is to go focus on my mission. But in terms of her world, she's going to own, assuming, I don't know if this, I think she's the right person, right? It's to express with her, hey, my goal on this house, my goal for this house, not for my life, not for my personal life, is just minimize my time. And I don't think I've ever articulated that, right? Like, she may think I actually enjoy screwing around with certain things or getting involved with X, Y, or Z. And it's until we align on that. The other one that came to mind.
Well, wait. Let me just tweak a little bit that one. Tell me what you think about this. So you can say that's your goal. Minimize my time in the house, dealing with the house. But the other thing would be, this is the goal that I want. This is my vision.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this house become a vehicle for incredible experiences for my family and for the people that I love. And in the time that is not being used, this house also generates revenue for us to boost those experiences. And I want all that to happen with me having zero involvement with anything that is management, admin.
Well, it's so funny because we're gonna rent it even more, right? Like I have.
But wait, what do you think?
I love it. I love it. It is amazing. It's beautiful.
So you're expanding you're expanding a little bit more on your goal. Think how this is where I took it from. I don't want anything to do. It comes from a negative place.
Yeah. To be positive.
To this is my vision. This is the vision that I want. And the only way to achieve that is by me not being involved in this. And I only want to be involved in blah.
Yeah. What you said, create amazing experiences for myself and my family and renters, right? Even people who want to come, I want them to have amazing experience while minimizing my involvement in it.
I said you, your family, friends, loved ones, right? Because you may want to give it to a friend. And again, in your case, I didn't mention this, but for you might be like, and renters. Okay. Because if you want that for renters, maybe the profit is lower. Because maybe that means that every person that comes and rents from you, you are literally having brand new things, like a basket, like with flowers, with wine, or with whatever that you like, and you have anyhow. What you can have a welcome basket for $500 for every single guest. Again, I don't know, but that is an important. It was your vision, and maybe that's part of your vision.
You're spot on. And because we only spend, oftentimes fewer than 30 days, if we do it 11, if we were to hypothetically rent it all that, especially the big ones, we're replacing all of our outdoor furniture because they mentioned like, hey, we'd like nice furniture. So we just got the whole, which is your point. It's less profit, but it's an amazing experience for them and us to have.
But that is your vision.
Yeah.
That is, and this is what you can say vision, you can say goal. It's, to me, it's kind of the same because you don't want to really change them.
Yeah.
Now, this may change in the future where you may say, you know what? I have enough money. I don't really want to rent this to anyone.
Yeah.
Or not. Or you may be like, no, dude, I definitely want to have this rented out because I want this house to be in use.
Yeah.
I want this to be a vehicle for happiness. That's for you to create.
It's definitely like the wealth money right now, but I think there is probably 80-20. 80 is that, 20% is like, man, this is an amazing house. I want someone to be having a good time. Ideally, it's me, and we're there fewer than 30 days. Okay. Second, friends or family. Okay. Third, a renter. Like that would be awesome to get that. And it's funny, right? Most of my family and most humans, like a lot of our good friends and family will be like, hey, you can go down. No, we can't get away. Like, yeah, they're stuck in their system, their mode. But it's a beautiful restatement that you just had.
And even one more thing, right? So right now, if you say, okay, I just hire a chief of staff. The mistake that I have done in the past is I hire a person and then I say, hey, this is my vision. Sayonara, good luck.
Yeah.
Terrible. Never worked for me. The way that I figured that out to make it work is that this is the vision. Now you are in charge of coming up with the strategy and executing, and you own the results. I want you to be free. If you are free, I am free. If I am free, you are free. I want you to be the owner of the whole end-to-end process. Wait, so how do I know that the strategies make sense? How does she know that the strategies make sense? I just hire her. I have no idea. We need to get to know each other.
Yeah.
So what I have done, and it just works great, which is I do that speech, and the person is like out of their mind. Is like, okay, yes, I love that. I said, but I'm not gonna let you just go. Good luck. No, because you have never done this. I wanna meet with you. I wanna hear your strategies. And I want to be able to give you, because we are just starting to work with each other on this new thing, and it's a big thing. I don't want that you smash your face in the ground. Like I've been dealing with all this house for 5 years. I have a lot of experience of what to do, what not to do, what went right or wrong. For me, it may go great for you, but at least I wanna be able to be involved at the beginning because I want you to win. So this is how we're gonna do it. You go, did you got the vision? Yes. Any questions? Well, what about this? fantastic. Okay, strategy. Now you go create a strategy. Let's meet in 3 days, in 1 day, next week. And I want to go over with you with on the strategy. And then you see what the person has in mind. And one more thing. And your goal as the person creating the strategy is that when you are sharing with me the strategy, your goal is that I say, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I've never seen, wow, 100% on board. I love it. This is way better than what I could come up with. Way, way better than anything that I came up with in the last 5 years. Unbelievable. Go for it. Execute.
Wow.
Go. So, sometimes, here at the beginning, it's a fine line, right? When we were talking about doing the podcast, I have a very bad experience with agencies in my line of work. Very bad experience. Agencies are shit. And usually the best thing is to have people in-house doing that job. That's usually the experience that I have.
From your prior experience.
With my business.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the podcast, I'm like, I'm going to hire people in-house. And then says, I think that the best thing is to go with an agency. And she's like, I know your experience with agencies, but I think that this is the best. And I'm like, okay, just let's see. What I could have done incorrectly is to say like, no, stop it. No. Let's not do agencies. Let's just hire a person in-house. Because now all of a sudden, why do I think that I'm so great?
Yeah.
Like she might be right.
That's because of your haircut. That's why.
She might be totally right. Okay.
Yeah.
And
you cut her legs out if you stopped her. You just
exactly. This is
you
the
just knock
important
her
part.
legs out when she's running. She's trying to sprint towards an exciting thing, and you knocked her legs out.
With a big chance that I am wrong.
Yeah. And then she resents you for it. She's like, this guy sucks. I had a good idea.
Yes, this is the dangerous part when we are not used to work like this, is that we end up making that kind of mistake where, and it happened with me with one person in my company that she's like, well, but are you sharing with me your vision or you are just doing the strategy? Like, what are we doing here? And I can see we've been working for a long time, so we have very good confidence and very good relationship. So
she was challenging you on that? Like
yeah.
Challenging how you're approaching it? Wow.
Yeah, because I was approaching it incorrectly. And I was approaching it from a place of fear. A place of like, I don't want a mistake here. I don't want a mistake on this thing.
Wow.
And the only way to get freedom that I have found is I need to give the person the freedom to come up with a strategy, execute, and own the results. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Done.
Are you ready for my dyslexic flip to what you just said? How I'll remember it? So most people,
Yes,
myself included, most of my life, it's you start with the outcome. I want blah. Then I start coming up with, here's how I'm going to do it. And then the last thing is like, okay, let's go hire Jimmy or Susie to go do it. If you flip that, it becomes the acronym WHO, WHO. No, instead we do the opposite. We start with who is an amazing person to work on this. We let them come up with how, and then we observe outcomes to evaluate how the strategies are actually creating the change or not. So it's the flip of what we naturally want to go do.
Yes, but I just want to also be one of the biggest mistakes that I made for years in my business is that because I'm hiring the who, and then I'm just stepping to the side. I'm like, well, I just hired the who. The who allegedly is way better than me at this, and this is why she or he is the who, and therefore they are going to do it. Of course. And I think that there is a part that I was not considering, which is I cannot just state the vision or /goal one time and walk away.
Yeah.
because there's nuances, there's stories behind that. There is more information
Yeah.
the person doesn't really know. So I prefer to have the meetings with the person where I can answer more questions about that. And also I want to see what's the strategy that the person is coming up at the beginning. The way that I have seen working with me is, let's meet at the beginning. I want to see 100% of the strategy. And then eventually those meetings go down to 80% of the time, 50% of the time. And eventually I don't want to meet with you
Yeah.
because you don't want to meet with me.
It doesn't need to happen.
Because it's not needed. Nothing personal. It's not that I dislike the person. It's that the less time the person is meeting with me, the more time the person is having freedom to go and execute, to come up with the ideas. There is a moment there's like, you do it. You do it.
I love that. There's two things from that. One is, and I think we talked about this, right? The meeting should be a phone call. The phone call should be an email. The email should be a text message. The text message should have never happened. And as you gain trust, that's the path.
I have
right?
not heard that one. So explain.
Oh, you've not heard this?
No.
Well, it actually ties to the second point that you brought up, which is, we were riffing on this in the last couple months. Someone's like, "Hey, Peter, let's get on a call, or let's have a meeting next week." And you had the great challenge, which is like, and I need to start. I don't accept that many meetings to begin with, but I really need to push people. Okay, cool. What's your goal? Right? And my assistants say, "What's your goal for the meeting?" And their goal may be one thing, and I have a very different goal. And there was a family type situation where this was like, we had a goal, it was going to be a family night. And then friends of the family members showed up. So it wasn't a family night. And I left. I was like, okay, I'm out. And there was a little bit.
Wait, give more context. What happened?
My wife and I had a family event. We were with family.
When you say family, whose family? What's family?
I'm not going to mention the actual family members, but it was some of our family, some of our greater family. We were going to see them. The intention, the agreed goal was
you and your wife.
Between me, my wife, and those family members.
Okay.
Was we were going to have a dinner as a family.
How many? How many people? Listen, people already know what you're talking about. So just give the full story.
I have 4 kids. The woman who's kind of going to be is being promoted our chief of staff. My wife, me, and then a couple of family members. That's it. That's the plan for the dinner.
Okay, in your house.
Not in their house.
Okay. How many people from their side?
Two, three people that are
okay. So you were dominating basically. Your family was dominating the whole thing.
We're dominating. I already am a little resistant because I don't like to eat dinner later, and it was like probably going to be later dinner. I was like,
what time?
7. I want to eat at 5. I want my food to digest 3-4 hours.
All right. So you're already upset about life.
And not upset because I said, hey, should I eat now? And my wife was like,
ask the question?
No, don't worry. What's that?
Why do you ask the question?
Because I wasn't in charge of dinner. I wasn't ordering dinner or cooking or provide. I was in the back seat. Not my house, not my dinner. So I can eat now. We show up, and then look, and then there's no fault, right? Suddenly, 30 minutes later, like 5 or 6 neighbors of theirs show up, adult neighbors. And I'm like, it was so funny because I had this like, and I was channeling some of you. I was like, I don't want to be here. So I was like, okay, I'm leaving. So I tell them. Now there was a house nearby.
Wait, how did you tell? How did you tell them?
I went by my wife. I went by the girl who's chief staff, and sorry, I also had some other family with me. It's a longer story, but I just said to all 3 of them, I said like, hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pee over at this house. I'm gone.
You went to pee over the house?
No. I went to be at a different house in the neighborhood. Like I didn't sign up for this kind of like neighborhood party thing. I thought it was a family night.
But did you say that to them?
Really good question. And this was the feedback we talked about the next day. I said, I'm leaving. I didn't say, hey, I don't want to be here now at this party. And honestly, I don't think I had gone inward. Like,
got it.
The root
you didn't know exactly what
it was happened. A symptom. The next morning, I was able to be like, oh,
this is why.
that we had a goal. The goal changed, which no problem. I'm not in charge of people. I don't want to control them. I love them all. I didn't sign up for this goal. Coming back to
Well,
the
wait
goal.
a second. Why do you say no problem?
Because I don't, and this is probably a little bit difference between you and me. If someone doesn't want to spend time with me, I don't care. I'm not
No, wait a
attached to
second.
it.
No, but there's a difference here. So if we say, hey, we are doing a family dinner, and then the person invites the neighborhood or 4 neighbors, there is a problem. It's not the end of the world. It's not a situation for you to stop seeing your family, but there is a problem. And that problem triggers you taking an action.
Correct. Because
So my question to you is, why do you say like, well, there is no problem. There is like, why do you minimize it?
what I mean is because no one's trying to force me to stay in this new plan, and I can just exit from a new plan.
Yeah.
I don't view there as a problem. The thing that I received the feedback was I could have said like, hey, why don't I take the kids and bounce and just be a little more clear. Like, I don't want to be here. This is not the night that I was planning or that I agreed to, the goal. There's a new goal.
Yes, I understand. So when you took off, right? What did you do? You just spoke with your wife, with your chief of staff, and said like, "Hey, I'm leaving," or what?
And one other family member that was there.
You say, "Hey, I'm leaving. Bye."
I said, I'm going to the house down the street. That's somebody I'd like to see. I'm going. Now it got more complicated because my phone was low and it died. And they went to the house, but they didn't knock on the door. They just peeked in and didn't see us. And we were in the living, like they knew this house. They were very familiar with the people. So they didn't think I was there. So then they're like, where is he? It added complexity, but pulling it back to the goals, right? You had this amazing insight that comes back to the meeting could be a call, the call could be an email, the email could be a text. The text never happened. Was if we don't start with what is this goal, right? It's actually really who should be involved in this. Like I may not care about this goal, or it's not a meeting I want to have. If I can understand what your goal is, I can decide, am I the right person? Am I a who that should be involved? Or, hey, why don't you go talk to Bill or Sally? She's great on this topic. We don't even need to have a call. We don't even have a text message. We have an email. That's it. And I'm not committing until I understand. And I like people. I like meeting people. So there's a little bit of a tug and pull on that. Like there's certain people where it's somebody like you, it's like, hey, let's do a call. Of course. Anytime, anywhere, I don't care. I'm always excited to hear what you have to think. And there's a dozen or so people in my life that are like that. There's like 100 that I like, but I'm not willing to hand over my time in that way without some level of clarity around the goal that they have. And it's not just a selfish, it partially is I want to protect my time, but it's partially like, I don't want to waste your time. Like if this is something I don't really know or don't feel excited about or understand, I should just tell you that up front and give any thoughts, advice, just of, hey, here's a better path than me. Like, I don't know anything about this topic or this space or this industry, or I don't do, another one is like, I get a lot of these seed round investments. Well, I'm not doing those anymore, right?
How do you get that?
Because in my local community, I had done quite a few. And just because if somebody's kind of doing a tech business, they're like, oh, he did a tech business and sold it. Go talk to him. But now a lot of people, seek advice, get money, seek money, get advice. So now people are better about, it's a good flip. A lot of people are coming to say, hey, I want your advice. Well, they really just want my money, right? Or they want to raise the investment, which not a criticism of them. I think it's a smart approach to see if there's knowledge I have, and then maybe I invest. But I try and pull that out right away. Like my assistant now will just say, he's not doing any seed round investments or private investments. Like he's focused on public markets and businesses he's starting himself. Done. And then a lot of times they're like, oh, appreciate that. Is there anyone you know doing that? And then sure, like, oh yeah, here's 2 people that do a lot of them. Go talk to them. And my assistant can do all of that without me even being involved.
Yes.
Because we've now aligned on that. I've given her the strategy. She knows. And guess what? Now I don't have a call. I don't have a meeting, call. I don't even look at the email. It's not a text message. It's just solved. In a respectful way of, we're still answering their email. I'm still integrated in this community that I want to help and support. And I want to help any entrepreneur. Like I'm not willing to give up my time to them, but I want to support them in their effort of risk, challenge, whatever. And that was the point that brought me back to you saying, like, I don't want to get on the call unless I know the goal. I don't want to go to the meeting unless I know what they're interested in. Like the brainstorming, and it may just be, hey, I want to brainstorm with you. That's still a goal or a topic. Like, hey, Pablo, I'm starting this new business. Can we brainstorm on it? Like, yeah, maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to commit to it or not commit to it beforehand. And I think what's so cool is when you actually are step back, even with a family event, then you can kind of lay down the expectations. Everyone understands. And yeah, things change a little bit, but whoa, if it goes a completely different path, now we can pause and say, hey, this wasn't what we talked about. Maybe we could do it, but like, this is a whole new plan. Let's talk about if this is, I may not want to be involved in that, or you may not want to be involved in this.
100%. Yes.
It's good, man. But I think the acronym I'm going to try and remember is who, how, outcome, right? It's the opposite of what I did most of my life. And the how, they come up with a how, and I just strategize with them. I listen
Who,
to them.
how, outcome.
So who? Spell the word who. Any project, any goal, anything you're trying to do, start with who. Who, how, outcome. Because what do we do naturally? What outcome do I want? What goal? Maybe it's not even a goal. So I start with the outcome. That's probably not the right goal. Then I think about how to do it. Then I think about who to do it with. Flip it. Go the exact opposite. Flip that over. And the only way for my monkey brain to remember that is like who, how, outcome. Anything I want to do, who, how, outcome.
That's cool. So coming back to the goals, let's say, are you planning to set up some goals to have something or not? That do you care about it? How do you think about it?
I am.
For example, I spoke with a friend today, and he said, "Well, something that I used to put a lot of goals, and now what I am just doing is I have 1 or 2 goals per year. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have more than that because then it becomes those to me are the most important." I push back a little bit on that because I think that there are definitely I don't want to have 27 goals. I think that is not 27 goals. Most likely that is 5 goals and 22 strategies of how to achieve those goals. But I definitely want to have goals in each pillar of an ultra life.
I'm going to do, so 2 thoughts, and I want your thought of this. One is I'm not going to make the goal before the year starts. I mean, it's already January 2nd. I'm going to do it when my kids go back to school because I wanted to really spend the time with them. And I think it's kind of neat to like let that whole exciting time to do it pass and then do it after that. And I think I'm going to do, as of this call, I'm going to do 1 for each of those 5 or 6 pillars. I know there's 6 in that. I may trim it down to 5. We'll see. But I'll do 5 or 6 goals, 1 in each. And then it's like, okay, here's the 1 goal I want to accomplish in each of these. And I might try and find more of the transformational goal, not transactional. And I define that as the goal that's not going to change.
Right? Yes.
Because then I can have a couple strategies I'll play with this year. But I would rather find these, like as I get older, and I love this quote from Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, where he said, you know, as he's retiring as CEO of Berkshire, the best investor ever in the history of the world, he said, my life is nothing but compound interest, nothing more, nothing less, and nothing brilliant. And it's like, and to me, what is compound interest? Compound interest is every part of life, friendships, marriages, relationships, businesses, investments. It's the conviction that helps you go beyond the temporary challenges that any decision will have. If you can flip to the end thing of it's something you're that passionate about, the mission, right? You can overcome the short-term challenges that exist in investments, relationships, businesses, health journeys, whatever it is. Right? You're going to get sick. We know that. You're going to lose money. We know that. Right? We're going to have hard days in a relationship with someone. We know that. Hard days in a business. But if you can find that alignment on that true mission, then it's going to propel you through that rather than what Charlie and Warren would say was, the stock market's a great way to transfer money from long-term thinkers to short-term. And that happens in relationships and everything else. Like a one-night stand as a goal for a dude, right? Of like, I'm going to hook up with this girl one night. That is a transactional relationship. There's a lot of things that go poorly, and there's limited chance that it's really an upside scenario if that's the goal. And these things, that's not a compound goal. You're not going to compound your life or your relationships with that mindset. Same with a business. I'm going to buy this business off this guy and get a great deal and screw him. And then up next year, I'm going to sell it and flip him. Like, those don't create, that's the wrong goal. And I think about these pillars, these 6, what can I find that's transformational across these 6? That's my real goal, not as of this call.
Across the 6, you mean one that
One for
summarize
each.
all of them, or
One for each.
One for each, yes. Dude, you got it. There is one for each.
What about you?
But I don't want to tell you because I wonder you think independently through them. But yes.
Is that the framework you're looking? Will you do
Yeah,
one?
I already gave you one, right? Health. What's my goal? I want to be in the best health I ever been in my life. That's it. Okay. And then I can be like, okay, what are the areas? What are the limiting factors for this to be true? Okay, this.
Wow. Dude, this is a fun topic. This is a very good topic.
Yeah. And just the 6 pillars of an ultra life. So we have health, we have relationships, we have purpose and mission, which we can talk about that, which I think that is very interesting. We have personal and spiritual development, we have time freedom, and we have financial freedom. Those are the 6 pillars. The reason why I'm separating the personal and spiritual development is because we all have different spiritual practices and paths, and the same with personal development. So it's, for some people, they have it more separate. In my case, it's integrated inside of my purpose and mission. And also it touches every single other area. Because how can I give you another one, right? But my goal is to be a time billionaire. How can I be a time billionaire unless I develop myself, unless I work on myself and my limiting beliefs?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that interlap, interconnect in all these different, in the other 5 areas. Like, the only way that I am going to be able to achieve those goals in these areas is by working on myself.
Yeah.
By developing myself. That's it. That's the only way. So, but that's why I'm also separating that, because I think that it can be, we can also fall into the mistake of stop looking at it.
Yeah.
So having a pillar that is time freedom, I find it critical.
Yeah.
Have a lot of people have a lot of money and so on, and they don't have the time.
Like me, back-to-back schedule.
Well, you're all the time on your phone, so.
It's beautiful, right? But that's right. That's a negative consequence of me finding time freedom, but then using
Well, it
it.
depends. I don't know. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt on this, because are you really wasting your time? Are you after cheap dopamine while you are on your phone? Are you doing personal development? Are you doing that because you are escaping other things? There's so many questions that I don't know. It's for you to answer those questions with yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's a deep one, and I'm gonna have to dig in further. One other example that hit me pretty big. I got a call New Year's morning, 8:30 from a close friend, and he.
Sorry. Before you go there, you gotta start again or paste it again. But I would say, go on your phone and analyze app by app.
Yeah.
rather than 8 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours. Just check every app. Like I just check right now and I realized that, well, yeah, the average is I'm spending 1 hour in my gym app. It's like, yeah, I'm just counting the reps and putting the reps inside of the gym fucking app. And it's counting like I'm 1 hour on the phone.
It's basically, that's almost like a workout hour. It's not a phone hour. It's you are in it doing the workout.
Exactly. So I think that you have to be careful of how this is being counted. And I think that you can go specific and realize, oh, you know what? Yeah, I spend 1 hour in x.com, wasted time. No.
Yeah.
Or on YouTube or on Chrome or whatever.
And I think that is, I realized that last year with X, YouTube is probably.
You did a great job with mail. You realize I am wasting so much time on my email. I'm just going to delete this and I'm going to check my email once a week.
Yeah.
That's it. I could do the same with everything else. And that is really negative.
That's why finding the transformational goal is the key, because then it's fun to create the new strategies. It's also back to compounding investment. Like people that work with me, when they know those are my transformational goals, they're trying to support that, align with that, not attack it.
Yes.
And it sums up. Yeah. Wow.
So I cut you off. You were sharing something else.
Well, this is one that is a different goal topic. But a friend called me and it's funny. It's hitting a lot of these themes that you mentioned. He called me on New Year's Day and was like, hey, I'm gone, left my wife for an activity. Like it's a pre-scheduled event. I'm gone for, 36 hours. I had and I keep hearing the same story from men, especially many men who have done really well financially. I've heard this kind of same story 5 or 10 times. And he's like, she's calling me every hour, stressed. She's like, worried about X, Y, and Z. I was like, what? I was like, and I was like, look, man, I was there at one point, right? I think there's this whole narrative around co-parenting, right? Where I think there needs to be a CEO. It can be the man or woman, but there needs to be a CEO. And, so I start kind of asking.
And what is the other person is? You have one CEO and the other one? For the audience?
It'd be more of a COO. So it'd be like, and I look at this, as an example, when I say man or woman, like my triplet sister is a lot like me. I think she'd be a great CEO of their family. Her husband is a lot like my wife. They're great consistency. Like they're not going to really think out of the box, but man, they're going to crush knocking it out each time and making sure the system keeps running. And I mean this sincerely. Like I think sister could be a great CEO. I think I can be a great CEO. It's when we don't know who's thinking that visionary strategic, we get in trouble. So my buddy calls me, he's like, man, she's losing it. And I set her up for success. And I did everything around my house for 3 days before I left. And she doesn't want anyone in the house. And he's like really struggling on this. And it was so fascinating because guess what his goal was? He goes, I need to get my pilot's license. And I was like, so
what?
I know exactly. And I go, do you think you're flying away from the problem? And he's like, yeah, you're right. Like we come up with this outcome or this goal, right?
What's your goal for the 2026? I want to get my pilot's
license. Yeah. And really he was just trying to literally fly away from the problem in his house. And I was hitting the questions like, are you the CEO or the COO? Do you feel, and you've heard plenty of lines, right? If you don't hire a nanny, you are the nanny, right? Like for a parent, if you've got a working parent and it's just too much going on, right? Whether it's a babysitter down the street, whatever it is. So, it was really neat to do what we're doing right now, which is kind of challenge people on their goals of, are you getting to the root, right? Whether it's a negative thing or a positive goal, are you at the root or are you at just a symptom or a strategy? And that was a powerful one. It also was one of these like kind of godlike moments of, I told you I'm poking around an idea in the family space. It's like I literally first hour of the new year have someone who has everything you could ever want in life, materially,
Financially
financially speaking, yes. From a material, like he has no constraints from a material perspective, zero. Calling me like broken, in this decision, wanting to be what he viewed as a good father and husband, and not feeling that he was able to in the current setup, limiting beliefs, prison, whatever you want to call it. Like, man, it's this powerful moment that comes back to these points that we have of you've got to start with a transformational goal, not a strategy. You've got to get to the root of the issue or the goal.
Yeah. Well, let me know when you got that. I would love to hear your thoughts, and then I can share also my side on the
on the goals. Okay. Yeah, it's a good time bound. We have a call in like 4 days.
Well, next week I moved it because most likely I'm gonna be flying.
Okay.
And
Well, then I probably should be able to have it down then our next call.
when are the kids coming back to
Well,
show?
Tuesday. They start Tuesday.
They go back to prison on Tuesday. Okay.
Dude, I want you to see this school. I do have to say, I think it's far from having, that I substitute teach at these schools, so I get to see the inside of the prisons.
Okay. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. It happens all the time. It happened today with the schedule. I was wrong. My fault. My bad. I owe now how many thousands of dollars for being late? That's a lot of money.
You owe me nothing.
Oh,
Just your friendship.
thank you.
Wait, Talbot, go to bed. I want to get this call.
I don't go to bed at 7, but
Oh, well, get ready for bed.
there you go. Tell me.
Wait, I'm gonna grab this call. I'm just
Okay, you're leaving. All right, brother. Love you.
Love you, man. See ya.
Bye.